All right, we're going to talk about supplies. This is take two. I did the whole take before and I forgot to hit record on the microphone. So I apologize for the noise in the background. It's about 34 degrees Celsius in the studio right now with the humidity. I can't do the videos like this. Camera equipment can't get that hot, so I've got the air conditioner on. Alrighty, what are we going to create our mixes in? Okay, and this sounds really, really basic, but a lot of you get hung up on this because you want the perfect journal. Stop right there. This course is not about the journal. The course is about mixing the colors as you see them. All right, so what do you want to create your mixes in? A journal is the best thing to use because you can keep it in one spot. If when I used to teach this course in the beginning, people were using canvases and panels and all that stuff, and it ends up taking an awful lot of room, which makes it harder to refer back to as you go. Because this book, this journal, whatever you create this in, is going to be with you for years. Okay, if you don't believe me, this is my color mixing journal. This is one of them because I ran out of room, and I have everything in here. And it was a prototype I did for my friend Danny. So it's it doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, it just has to get the job done. So what I'm going to talk to you about is what not to use. Okay. This is a cute little journal found at the dollar store. Nice with craft paper in that. Two problems with it. First of all, the paper is toned, so you're not going to get true. You won't be able to truly evaluate the colors as you put them down because the paper is toned. I couldn't get that out there, could I? Especially if your paint is transparent, the brown is going to show through. So no colored paper, no tone paper whatsoever. Okay. Second thing is it's hardbound. So when a journal is hardbound, like these types here, they're meant to be used flat. So, I've seen people having journals where they're all like this, and that's great and dandy enough if that's what you're looking for. This journal we're using for color mixing, you're going to have it for years, so we may want to be able to put pieces inside like I did here. I've got extra pieces inside. Your journal needs to be able to expand. So no tone paper, not hardbound. So what do you use? Well, you can make your own little journal. I've got videos on this on my blog and YouTube channel, so I'm not going to cover the details in this. But basically, I took watercolor paper, tore it, needle and thread, in through here, out, in through here, out, around, in through here, out, in through here, and then tie a knot. And there you go. And you only do, about 3 or 4 sheets of this, and then you do multiples, and then you bind them together in a larger book, which is what I did in this one. Now, what's wrong with this, though? The paper's cream colored. It's a very light cream color, but if you compare it to white, it's still cream colored. So I would avoid using, again, the toned paper. Okay, so use something that's white. Going on to the next one. The easiest thing to do, my darlings, the easiest thing is just get the paper, 3-hole punch into a binder and get it done. Because that way, as you start expanding, so if you start with a 1-inch binder, which you can get cheap at the dollar store, but when you go to a larger one, as you outgrow this one, get something good to last you for a while. Again, tone paper, so we don't want this. You want something that's white. That way the colors you put down, everything will be brighter than the white here, and it'll be easier to evaluate as we go. Okay, so you can choose to make your own book, but get it done. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to work on this 3-hole punch. That's how I'm doing this one, 3-hole punch. And a note that if you're going to be posting pictures of your pieces, if you're using a scanner, keep in mind that pads of paper, most of them are all 9x12, which is a little bit larger than the scanner bed. So if you're going to be using a scanner, try to keep a border inch at the top, inch at the bottom, and do your mixes within here. And or you can just simply use your phone and take a picture like that. Alrighty, so that takes care of the paper. Brushes, I'm just using round brushes because they're easier to clean. Avoid using the hog bristle brushes because you're going to be wasting a lot of paint. Round brushes are just, you make your swatches and it's over and done with. Pencil or a pen to make notes. Eraser, you don't have to, but it's up to you. So something to make notes with. let's see, Mr. Bottle to keep your paints wet, and palette paper. Now, palette paper, you can use white palette paper or you can use gray tone palette paper. Gray tone is what I use when I'm actually doing painting because this is sort of like the mid-range value, so you can get darker than this and lighter than this, and this is smack dab in the middle. It's hard to find. If you go to a good art store, you might be able to find it. So that's completely up to you. You don't need this, but the white palette paper is ideal because you're making your mixes on white palette paper and you're putting it onto white paper for your journal. All right, so just to show you so this is my prototype book that I made for my friend Danny, but you can see that, with all these pieces, and I've got pieces inside, that there is no way with this that I would be able to do this type of work in a journal that's like this. I hope my voice didn't fade there. That I couldn't do stuff like this into a flat bound journal, but a 3-ring binder would take this really easy. Like, look at this. This is where I made a whole bunch of notes during teaching another course. All right, so get your binder, get your paper, anything that accepts acrylic paints. This is just sketch paper. This is 90-pound sketch paper. Don't use anything thinner than that because your paper is going to curl. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Now what I want to talk to you in the next video are the paints that we're going to be using. Oh, and I forgot to show you this. I filmed this after the supply segment, and I'm going to shove it in here. If you come across, if you can find it on sale, these art boards, these are pretty thick boards like this. If you can find them on sale and you want to make something for your wall, these are ideal because you can just tack them to your wall, and they're nice for once you go through the course and you want to create your own special palette of paints, let's say for portraits or landscapes or mixed media. These are nice because you can put them right on your wall for to look at very easily. And I totally forgot about the Strathmore paper. So this is Strathmore Vision watercolor paper. It is phenomenal for doing color mixes because it's thick enough that it's not going to go super curly, but it's not too thick that it takes up so much room. So these can be done, your mixes front and back, and they can still go through a 3-hole punch. So there's another choice to work with a binder.